All right, so I'm here with Daylight Dave Houston. You might know Dave the same way that I know of Dave. Every time I saw him, he was at the train shows running a booth that had all kinds of neat memorabilia and clothing and hats and all kinds of cool stuff. So the reason we're here today, though, is Dave recently completed a book, which is Southern Pacific, which I know a lot of people who watch the channel will hold near and dear. So we're going to talk a little bit about the book, and maybe you could talk a little bit about Daylight Sales so people know how that went.
Daylight Sales was something that was an offshoot of my love of trains, which started when I was a child. I've been interested in trains. I traveled with a camera wherever I went, and somehow got in the clothing business 22 years ago. And through that media, I wound up meeting many, many people, and a lot of you are wearing clothes that I designed, which is nothing short of stupendous because I can't draw a stick, but I could design, and it worked well. But as I got older, it became time to look at retirement, and 2 years ago I sold the company, and great ride. All of a sudden I have time on my hands to play and relax. So one of the things I wanted to do was to preserve my picture collection, which I had taken since the 60s, sometimes with terrible equipment and no knowledge of lighting or focus or composition. Just I grabbed shots and took them. But I wanted to preserve them, so I set about to digitize 2 years ago. And as I got through these things, I started thinking, there's some neat stuff here. There's some pictures here that I really enjoyed taking, and I really enjoyed looking at them. Pictures of the transition era from the 60s into the 90s, when the SP was really something to see. I really enjoyed that, and I started thinking, what do I do with these pictures? Okay, I've got 6,500 pictures that I've scanned. Well, some of them need a lot of help, so you got to learn new tricks. Photoshop. Get rid of all the dust and scratches, adjust the lighting, and wow, these things are pretty good. There's a lot of laments. There's a lot of pictures that are on the cutting room floor. We don't need to worry about that. Everybody who's ever taken a picture goofed up more than one, and I'm no exception.
No, I mean, looking through the book, though, every picture, we were talking earlier sort of off camera about this, every picture in it that I saw was in focus, composed well, so either you're a miracle worker with Photoshop or you're a decent photographer at least.
Well, how about fuzzy?
That works.
The same attention to detail that I did when I designed all the clothing that you folks are wearing, it transferred into the book. Mm-hmm. If it was out of focus, if I cut the front of the thing off, it's in it's on the floor.
Something I'd like to mention is the title of the book. I kind of forgot to mention that. It's Southern Pacific, right? Southern Pacific, 1960s to the 1990s. But I mentioned this because I want to mention the second part of the title, which is Volume 1, Sacramento to Sparks. So now you know what it's about, but you also know, by calling it Volume 1, that there must be something else in the works, right?
Volume 2.
Right?
And 3 and 4 and 5. And this project, many of the things I've done in my life were by accident. I never planned to make a company that did millions of dollars in sales on T-shirts. I never planned to be an author. I fell into it, and it just happened. And I've never had more fun. So yeah, Volume 2 is going to be out in the fall.
Oh, okay.
It's already putting things together. It's time to do the selection process, but tremendous amount of research. But here's what really got me. When I got done looking at these pictures and getting the ones that were sharp, that the lighting was right, I wanted to know what else happened here. What's the story with that engine? What's the story with that location? And I started doing the research. And I realized that rather than just be a rail fan, I wound up documenting moments in history. And it was so neat to see a shot of a F unit that I really liked to see in the Black Widow colors, or an Alco, or all these things that I really enjoyed, and realized that a month later they were scrapped. So I realized I had a story here that I wanted to share of what happened to these things. Mm-hmm. I caught them and I preserved it. Now comes the question, what do you do with it? So to that end, I started talking to a number of publishers, and I had worked with Joe Shine from Fort Ways West in the past. I knew of his quality. The books are beautiful, hardbound, printed in America. And matter of fact, down in Visalia, very nice man, easy to work with. I've worked with him at train shows in the past. Joe's my partner in this, and where he had a shot that I didn't have, he let me use his. And you'll see there's a few here that say the Joe Shine Collection. But it became a partnership. And a better person to work with on this you couldn't ask for.
Sounds really great. What were your methods for doing the research?
First off, I started using the internet. I put questions out on the SP group or the SP modelers group on Facebook. And if I didn't know a location, I would ask, and people were more than generous in telling me where it was. A good number of my friends are authors already, and I asked them, where was this? Retired engineers. There's Dave Stanley, there's Dick Dorn, John Signor's wonderful friend, and designed the map that's on the cover of the book for me. Just wonderful people, a camaraderie of people wanting to do the same thing.
One of the things I've noticed with railroaders, model railroaders, and just people who share interests like that is that people are very willing to share their knowledge with you. Yeah. And as you described, I mean, that's one of the great things about sort of branching out and not being afraid to ask someone for help if you need it or something like that. So it sounds like you networked and got a lot of info. That's really great.
Very appreciative. There's one other gentleman who wrote books on the SP. They're compendiums, Joe Strapak.
Okay.
And he has taken the time to write the most boring text for anybody that's not into this that you could ever imagine. But it's exactly what I needed to tell you what happened to that engine, when it was built, where it went, where it died, all that. And then there's other companies out there on the internet, realpictures.net. You can look at that and see where they went after they were sold or retired. Some of these locomotives were built in the 60s are still in service. Mm-hmm. So that kind of research became so entertaining. I just fell in love with the whole project, and it was motivating. The greatest therapy you ever could ask for.
That's really great.
Wake up in the morning, I'm on the computer. Give me a cup of coffee, I'm having a ball. It was fun.
Plus, you get to stay out of your wife's hair.
Well, she's not complaining yet. Are you going to be on the computer anymore? I need to pay bills. Well, all right, have at it.
Right, but then you're there waiting for her to finish, probably with bated breath.
I help her. It's a great partnership. We're married 48 years, and she's out there working, watching me take pictures. She's in a few pictures in the book. She worked with me at the show. She worked with me in the business, and better partner you couldn't ask for.
That answers a question that I had when I was thumbing through the book earlier when we were talking, because I saw a lady in the picture, or the back of a lady's head, and I thought, I wonder if that's...
We were only married a month when I drug her out to the train tracks, took her picture as she waved at a train going by. And
I think it might have been the same picture.
It is. And see, too, in book 2, I have a picture of her making the Flying Scotsman disappear. So you'll have to look for that picture, because when she's in front of it, you don't see the train.
Okay. I guess that's a good reason for everybody to buy the book. Speaking of buying the book, how about, how much is it? Where is it? How do people find it? What's the story with that?
All right. So a little marketing ploy. The book is $59.95. It's hardbound, 144 pages, and 400 pictures. Almost all of them are color. Nearly all of them are my own, and basically none of them have ever been published. I'm a debuting author with my own work, so this is a novel thing to see. If you'd like an autographed copy, you'll have to order through me, and the website will be shown so you can copy it down. If you're going to call me, please be aware of the time zone difference, and don't call me at 7 in the morning East Coast time. That I won't answer.
That's 4 a.m. for us, in case you're wondering. This is Pacific time where we are.
Right.
So.
And credit cards, any way we can do it. If you don't want to bother with an author's signature, which might devalue the book, be warned. Most of the hobby shops will have it. It's available through Walters, and it's more important that you enjoy. This is writing a book. If you ever think about it, it's not a get-rich proposition. It's more a labor of love. It's for the preservation of the things that I hold near and dear to me. Railroading the way it was. How you get it is of no consequence. You get it any way you want, and enjoy the read. And if you have a comment, I'd love to hear if you like it. wonderful. Book 2 will be coming.
One of the big events coming up soon for us is Winter Rail up in Corvallis. Are you planning to be there, or what's the story with the...
Well, you're absolutely right, John. It's a premier event for railroad collectible people, photographers, and the book will be debuted there. I will have a table, and I'll be more than happy to sign an autograph for you there. Come quick, we're going to run out.
Right?
I hope.
You'll probably run out. I know a lot of SP people, that's their thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a great show. It's in Corvallis, Oregon, a month from now, and a lot of books have been debuted there, and I'm flabbergasted that I'm back behind a table after all the years of not, and happy to have this book there. It's going to be a fun trip. Look forward to meeting you.
I did get a chance to thumb through the book briefly. It only came out less than a week ago, so it was practically impossible for me to find one. But it looks really nice. It's very nicely done.
Yeah. Some of the pictures in here, Joe's a master. There's a number of publishers out there, but this man has done it for years. Easy to work with. He knows his stuff. And together we did it. And I'd love to share it with you if you're interested in the great, friendly Southern Pacific that was.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk. And there's an upcoming layout tour sometime in the near future as well. That's what we were doing here today, as well as talking about the book.
Yeah.
And it's great to have you on the show, and really glad to see that there's another Southern Pacific book that appears to be very well done. So thank you very much.
Thank you for coming out.
Very good.
Thank you.